Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into everything New England Patriots. And folks, the offseason is already throwing us a few storylines worth keeping both eyes on. After day one of the voluntary offseason program, we're starting to see how the team could shape up heading into the next NFL season. And there are already some pretty big shifts on the radar, especially when it comes to the starting lineup. And let's be honest, this team isn't just looking for incremental improvement. They're aiming to turn heads in the AFC East and maybe, just maybe, find themselves in the playoff conversation come January. First things first, let's talk about the offensive line. If you're hoping to see a more stable and effective unit protecting Drake May this season, you're not alone. And it seems like the coaching staff agrees. Will Campbell has quickly planted his flag at the left tackle position. Absolutely no surprises there. He's looked locked in, confident, and ready to anchor that blind side. Sliding in next to him at left guard is Cole Strange, who's getting the initial reps to reclaim his spot and reestablish consistency after an up and down year. At center, James Bradbury is the man snapping the ball, while Mike Onwenu shifts to right guard, a spot where he's proven reliable in the past. And rounding out the line is Morgan Moses at right tackle, bringing experience and leadership to a group that desperately needs both. Now, let's not sugarcoat it. Drake May had a rocky start in early team activities. The rookie quarterback tossed 4 interceptions, and sure, 2 of those came from tipped balls and miscommunications, but that doesn't mean we should hit the panic button. This is part of the growing pains. You're talking about a young quarterback stepping into a pro-level system, working with new receivers, and facing a defense that is already clicking, especially with Christian Gonzalez flying around out there. If anything, this is exactly the kind of pressure that will help him grow. Facing a talented defensive unit early is only going to sharpen his instincts and help him adapt to the speed of the NFL. So no, this is not about being behind the 8 ball. This is about development. Drake May is going to need time, but make no mistake, he's got the tools to thrive. The key will be patience, the right coaching, and yes, protection from that retooled offensive line. Speaking of offensive weapons, the receiver rotation looked a little different than what fans might have imagined. Pop Douglas, Kendrick Bourne, and Kayshon Boutter currently leading the group, mostly due to health issues with other players. Stephon Diggs isn't fully cleared yet. Jalen Polk had a limited practice. Mac Hollins hasn't joined the action just yet. All signs point to Kyle Williams being worked into that mix sooner rather than later. He's a player the coaching staff is clearly high on, and it's only a matter of time before he starts carving out a real role in that receiving core. And on the defensive side of the ball, one name that had fans buzzing was Christian Barmore. After missing time, he's back at defensive tackle and was a full participant in workouts. An awesome sign for a defense that wants to reestablish his dominance up front. He's one of those guys that can really shift the tone of a game in the trenches. And having him healthy is a massive boost for this team moving forward. Now, let's give credit where credit is due. Participation in this voluntary program has been outstanding. No one's required to show up for this phase of the offseason. But Mike Vrabel has clearly made it a priority to set the tone early. The message is simple. Let's get a head start, build chemistry, and earn every inch before week 1 even gets here. And the players have responded. There's real energy around this group, and it shows. But that's not the only headline making waves. The NFL dropped a bit of a bombshell recently with its announcement that players will officially be allowed to participate in the 2028 Summer Olympics, competing in the newly added flag football event. That's right, NFL stars representing their country on the Olympic stage. It's exciting, it's unexpected, and it's definitely controversial. Now let's break this down. Flag football and tackle football are wildly different games. There's no contact, no tackling. It's all about speed, agility, precision, and space. Still, having elite NFL talent in the mix gives Team USA an insane advantage. And you can bet that some of the biggest names in the league are already eyeing that. Gold medal. In fact, Justin Jefferson appeared alongside Roger Goodell during the announcement, and it's hard not to imagine him torching defenders in a flag football format. That's a scary thought for any international team thinking they've got a shot. But here's where it gets complicated. The move has sparked some backlash, particularly from the amateur flag football community. For years, these athletes have worked tirelessly, dreaming of one day representing their country on the world's biggest stage. And just as that dream starts to feel real, in comes the NFL with its all-stars, effectively pushing those amateurs to the sidelines. It's tough. On one hand, you get the absolute best product on the field. On the other, you're crushing the hopes of players who've dedicated their lives to this version of the sport. It's a hard pill to swallow. And let's not forget the unique challenges of adapting NFL skill sets to flag football. For quarterbacks especially, the game becomes all about mobility and improvisation. Someone like Kyler Murray, with his shiftiness and ability to create on the fly, might thrive in a flag format more than a traditional pocket passer like Joe Burrow. Of course, that's not to say Burrow wouldn't dominate, but the dynamics change. You're not just looking for arm strength and accuracy. You're looking for guys who can move, evade, and make something out of nothing in a condensed high-speed game. Now, is Kyler Murray going to be the starter for Team USA? Who knows? But the fact that we're even having that conversation shows how different this version of football is. It also highlights why some fans feel uneasy. You want the best out there, but you don't want to erase the identities and legacies of those who've been grinding in flag for years. Switching gears again, let's address the draft decision. That's still got some fans second guessing. The Patriots had a shot at Luther Burden, an SEC standout and a receiver who at one point was considered a top-tier pick. He ended up going to the Chicago Bears, surprisingly, as the sixth wideout off the board. That drop had a lot of people scratching their heads, and in the aftermath, Burden didn't hold back. He made it clear he feels overlooked and is carrying a chip on his shoulder, saying that every team that passed on him is going to regret it. Classic post-draft fire, right? But here's the thing. New England went with running back Trevelyan. Henderson had picked 38 instead, and then picked up Kyle Williams in the third round. So naturally, fans and analysts are wondering, should they have flipped that order? Taken Burden first and waited for a back later? Looking at the board, the next running back off the table was Caleb Johnson, who landed with the Steelers and is expected to split time with Jaylen Warren. After that, Cam Scatterbo went to the Giants. So the Patriots were choosing between an electric SEC receiver and a running back they believe could be a game changer. And in their minds, Henderson was the better fit, not just as a runner, but as a third down option, a pass blocker, and someone who meshes well with Josh McDaniels' system. Then you add in Kyle Williams, a former quarterback turned receiver, and suddenly you've got two guys who fit a very specific vision for how this offense is going to function. It's a fair debate. Burden may go off in Chicago, prove everybody wrong, and become a star. But New England prioritized versatility, system fit, and locker room chemistry. If both Henderson and Williams hit, this draft class could age very well. Looking ahead, the Patriots' offseason news doesn't stop there. One of the most intriguing updates involves their upcoming preseason schedule and joint practices. Today, team has arranged 2 joint practice sessions before their preseason games, offering an early glimpse at how they stack up against other NFL squads. Last year, these joint practices proved invaluable for Patriots fans, providing a sneak peek at new players and key matchups. Remember the sessions against the Philadelphia Eagles? That was a chance to see rookie Drake May in action and get a feel for how the team could develop under pressure. This year promises more of the same, with the Patriots set to face the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington Commanders in these joint sessions. The Commanders matchup is especially fascinating because Washington is seen as a blueprint the Patriots want to emulate. Think about what the Commanders did last season. Under Dan Quinn, a coach labeled a retread after previous head coaching gigs. They revamped their defense, invested in young talent, and saw a remarkable turnaround with a rookie quarterback leading the charge. That quarterback, Jalen Daniels, is someone the Patriots are watching closely as they prepare Drake May for a similar journey. It's not just a coincidence. The parallels between these two teams and their rebuilding paths are impossible to ignore. The Commanders went from winning just 4 games to being favorites for more than double that total this season. If the Patriots can replicate even part of that success, Foxborough will be buzzing. The joint practices also feature some tantalizing individual matchups. Christian Gonzalez, one of the league's rising cornerbacks, will get a chance to face off against Justin Jefferson, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the game today. That's the kind of duel that excites fans and scouts alike because it pits top-tier talent against each other and gives a real taste of what the upcoming season might hold. Meanwhile, the Vikings will host the Patriots in Minnesota for these sessions, giving both teams valuable reps before the official preseason kickoff. While the practice field is a critical piece of the puzzle, it's the locker room and the culture. That will ultimately define this Patriots team. Mike Vrabel's leadership, combined with a fresh influx of talent and strategic draft choices, has sparked hope that New England can emerge from a tough stretch and reclaim relevance in the AFC. East, the division itself has evolved, with teams like the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins raising their level year after year. The Patriots know that to keep pace, they need to develop their young core quickly while blending in seasoned veterans who bring stability. Another interesting wrinkle in the offseason is the evolving role of some key players in situational football. Kyle Williams, for example, is a fascinating case. A former college quarterback turned receiver, Williams has the kind of football IQ that coaches dream of. His ability to read defenses and understand schemes could make him a valuable weapon, not just in catching passes, but in running routes that open up the field for others. His journey from signal caller to playmaker is a story Patriots fans will want to follow closely, especially as he builds chemistry with Drake May. Meanwhile, on the defensive line, the return of Christian Barmore can't be overstated. The Patriots' defense has long been known for its physicality and ability to disrupt opposing offenses, and Barmore fits perfectly into that mold. His presence inside will give the Patriots a legitimate edge against the run and create pressure up the middle, forcing quarterbacks into uncomfortable situations. With a healthier defensive front, the secondary and linebackers will have more freedom to make plays. And that kind of synergy is exactly what you want from a defense that aims to control the tempo of the game. As all of these pieces start coming together, it's clear that this offseason is about laying the groundwork for sustained success. The Patriots are rebuilding, yes, but they're doing it with a purpose, carefully assembling a roster that balances youth and experience, speed and power, and strategic versatility. It's a delicate balancing act, but if the early signs from these voluntary workouts and joint practices hold true, New England fans have reasons to be cautiously optimistic. And of course, none of this happens in a vacuum. The NFL landscape is shifting with new rules, emerging talent, and now the addition of the Olympics into the mix. Allowing NFL players to compete in flag football at the Summer Games opens a new chapter in how the sport is perceived globally. It's a unique opportunity for players to showcase skills on an international platform, but it also raises questions about how this could affect players' off-season preparation and team dynamics. Balancing the prestige of Olympic competition with the grind of an NFL season will require smart management from coaches and front offices alike. For the Patriots, the path forward is clear. Continue building around their young quarterback. Keep strengthening the offensive line and leverage the defensive talent returning from injury. The draft picks, particularly the combination of Tre'Veyon Henderson and Kyle Williams, need to develop into reliable contributors. Meanwhile, the team must stay healthy and capitalize on the momentum created by early off-season work. If they can do that, this franchise could be on the brink of an exciting turnaround that sets the stage for a playoff push and renewed contention in the AFC East. The next few months will be telling. As training camp approaches and preseason games begin, every snap, every practice, and every decision will add layers to the story. The Patriots are clearly positioning themselves to be competitive, and with a strong coaching staff and motivated players, the pieces seem to be aligning. What remains to be seen is how quickly they can gel and how well the new faces will integrate into a system that demands precision, toughness, and smart football. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The New England Patriots may have just found their X Factor. Brandon Aiyuk, the dynamic wide receiver formerly with the San Francisco 49ers, arrives in Foxborough as the explosive playmaker the Patriots have been missing in recent years. With His arrival, New England injects much-needed speed, versatility, and unpredictability into an offense that has struggled to find a consistent identity since the departure of Tom Brady. Aiyuk's ability to stretch the field vertically and turn short passes into long gains adds a new dimension to the Patriots' playbook. His route running, paired with elite yards after catch ability, makes him a nightmare for defenders and a dream for any offensive coordinator. While the Patriots receiving core has lacked a true game breaker, Aiyuk's presence changes that narrative immediately. Throughout his time with the 49ers, Aiyuk proved to be more than just a complementary piece. He developed into one of the most efficient receivers in the league, particularly in crucial situations. His chemistry with quarterbacks, high football IQ, and toughness after the catch make him a perfect fit for a team aiming to rebuild its offensive credibility. The Patriots, under new leadership and seeking a fresh identity, are counting on Aiyuk to bring both production and energy. His arrival signifies more than just a roster addition. It represents a philosophical shift toward a more modern, aggressive offensive style. Fans in New England can expect more big plays, more unpredictability, and a revived passing attack. That should keep defenses guessing. Brandon Aiyuk is not just a new weapon. He's the wild card the Patriots have been desperately seeking. In a division loaded with offensive firepower, his playmaking ability could be the key to turning the tide and restoring the Patriots to their former glory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.